Yeah, so as we've spoken about lightweights, lightweight men have a boat average of 160 and a individual weight maximum of 165. But they can be extremely technically gifted in the execution of the stroke, and that sometimes will overcome power.
Yeah, so Mercyhurst also a program that's known for having some pretty solid lightweight crews. So, and you see there nothing to snuff at that. Out of that start, and Mercyhurst, as they begin to settle down into their base, we have some flying starts right now from MIT and Mercyhurst, looking like a pretty good race off the start.
Yeah, both crews, solid starts, getting those oars in the water. It's hard when you start from a standing position. You have to shorten up your stroke and really pry that boat to get it up to speed. And then the question is, what happens once the boat is up to speed? Can you maintain that speed? Can you maintain your focus as that rate comes down to your base pace?
Yeah, and you see here, as we're still kind of up pretty high with MIT and Mercyhurst through the first couple hundred meters, it looks like Mercyhurst is just hitting those buoy markers just slightly out in front of MIT at the moment, and we're going to switch our camera angle, and you see there two pretty evenly matched crews here between MIT and Mercyhurst. So this should be a pretty fun race as they make their way to the 500 meters. And as I stated before, the rest of the day we'll be having some 8 races. So 8 racing is always fun and fast. So from here to the end of the day, we'll be bringing you some 8 coverage.
Yeah, and these crews really settling into their base rhythm now, really pushing, really driving along. We'll see if they can continue to stay right next to each other as they move through the body of this race.
Yeah, and it looks like MIT has been able to take a slight advantage over Mercyhurst, still at a slightly higher rate. It seems, one of the things we talked about with lightweights is their ability to row at higher rates, throughout the body of the race. And you see there Mercyhurst, continuing to keep that rate pretty high, and, not much at all between these two crews as they come by the Camden County Boathouse now, just making their way through the second 500 as they approach the halfway point in this race. It does look like MIT has just a ever so slight advantage over Mercyhurst at the moment.
Yeah, you want that. Yeah, I'm looking at the stroke of that MIT boat. He's got his head down. You want to see his head up. You want to see him looking forward and driving, but what he's doing right now seems to be working. We'll see if that is any impact there from sort of his body position, his body language. Is that an indication of fatigue, or, hey, maybe that's just how he rows?
All right, and here we have a nice drone shot that's going to give you a little bit more information on what's going on here. So really not much at all between the two teams. MIT with a slight advantage. There is, again, a slight advantage to those inside lanes in terms of the finish line comes up a little bit quicker. So MIT, just slightly out in front. You'll see those buoy lines that slightly on a diagonal. Yeah. So as MIT hits those buoy lines first and continues to open up this lead, this is a pretty solid lead at the moment for MIT.
Yeah, it looks like they've managed to start that progression of just inch by inch, pushing away from Mercyhurst. And the question is, can Mercyhurst do anything to halt that move? What you want to do in cases like this, you want to do something to stop the other boat's momentum. And it doesn't look right now that Mercyhurst has the answer for MIT's move.
Yeah, and MIT, as they pass that canoe club on the southern shore there, just about 750 meters left in this one, and it is MIT right now dominating this third 500. Mercyhurst is going to have to put the screws to them in the final 500 if they want to come back and win this men's lightweight 8 event, the Thomas W. Lashavo Trophy.
Yeah, and you have these athletes, they've been training all year. They're doing a great job of executing the stroke, getting the oar into the water, not missing water. Once again, we're seeing some really great rowing, and I suspect that we'll continue to see a high level of rowing as we move through these final events.
Yeah, so MIT continuing to press their advantage over Mercyhurst, and into the final 400 meters now of this one. It's all MIT. Mercyhurst doing everything they can to hang on, but MIT continuing to push them away through the final 500 here.
Yeah, and this is where it gets exciting. You can see MIT's like, we've got another gear. Let's press it down. Nothing. Mercyhurst doesn't seem to have a response. They've brought up their rating as well, and they're moving. You can see that boat just pushing through the water, but it's just not fast enough right now.
Yeah, and 250 meters left, and there goes MIT. They just raised it a couple more clicks, and they've opened up water now on Mercyhurst, and they do not look like they're gonna give an inch. Oh man, MIT with a really impressive boat here in this lightweight 8 event.
Yeah, they're really moving well right now. All engines are firing. All cylinders are firing in the engine rather, and those legs, they're like pistons just firing down with each stroke. The oars are getting the water. Look at that backsplash. Look at that commitment from each athlete as they push towards that finish line.
And a great race as MIT comes away with the gold in the men's varsity lightweight 8 final. Mercyhurst takes second, and MIT your winner in the Thomas W. Wilshavo Trophy.